render passes. In ZBrush 4 we have now the ability to make render passes. Also, it does all the composition work for you. Now, I don't know. That's starting to get on the edge of my skin a little bit, saying, wow, why did you make it that easy for? I mean, do you really want to put me out of work? So here, under, let's make some noise first. Go to surfaces, noise, and let's add some noise to this. And I'm just going to add some sequential noise here in the mid and pop these down. I'm just making some really big, huge noise points. If this is the first time you've seen noise, noise is amazing, by the way. I think we would have a lesson just on noise, but it's really kind of simple to produce. And it's pretty random too, unless you know a lot about profiles. So there we go. There's some noise. Also going to divide this up a couple times. And here's the fun part. Okay, so first off, let's zoom out a little bit so we can see our full composition. And I'm just going to go like this. So plain and simple, sphere with good detail. In render, we have this new feature called Best Preview Render. Now, the only issue I have with this thing is the fact that when I go to create maps, the previous creation is in here. Even when you initialize ZBrush, these are still in there. So I would love to find where these exist and just rip them out of the hard drive every time. The problem with that is occurring because let's say I just take all these off and best preview render it. Okay, so it's updated this one, and these are based upon some older stuff. So it gave me this one and the depth, even though I didn't choose depth. And this other stuff is old. Okay, so I'm going to turn on shadows, ambient occlusion, and depth all at the same time. Good. Now they should all match up this time, because it took the depth, it took the shadows, occlusion, and it updated the mask. So now I know which ones are which. Another thing is you'll see colored bars appear every once in a while. For some odd reason, I haven't quite figured that out, and I don't want to blame ZBrush. It's mostly probably a video card thing. But what I'm going to do here is now show you the Photoshop side of things, because really the composition's flat when you export it over to Photoshop, and then it doesn't allow you to tweak it at all. So let's go into render passes. There we go. I'm just going to delete these out and re-put them back in. So what you do is click, pick a folder, and do that over and over again. So now the next part takes a little bit. This is the final one in ZBrush, and if you wanted this one, you can export that, and I can call this master. Again, this is a really nice thing, but it's really nice to see the nuts and bolts on the other end of things, what we used to have to do before. Because if you're a new person to 3D, you're not going to really understand the power or cheapness of this, because there was a lot of work involved to produce something like that back in as a post composition. So now I'm going to show you the post composition and how to use those layers like we used to, and then you can use that information to produce tweaks in your post composition work. Alright, so Meet me in the next video.